All right, calling all science nerds from Studio 233 here at FHS. Our topic today that we're going to start with our virtual learning is genetic inheritance, so passing on genes from parents to offspring, and Punnett squares that I know you've seen before, but before we can do any of that, we actually have to start with the topic of meiosis, which is going to give us a great basis for solving those problems later on. Also, I have to mention that we're doing this live. Okay, so if there are mistakes made, which I'm sure there will be, we're just going to keep on going. So you'll have to catch me and let me know in the comments. So meiosis is our topic. And what meiosis is essentially is a process that creates gametes. As I write, you guys can just write along with me here. Pause the video as needed to catch up or keep up. So a gamete, what a gamete is basically just an egg or a sperm. And so this process of meiosis is doing that, is creating either egg or sperm. And one thing that we need to know about gametes that we have mentioned before, but I will say again, is these are haploid cells. That means that they have half of the amount of DNA that normal body cells have. So let me just draw a little picture here. So we have an egg, we have a sperm. These are both haploid cells, and they both have 23 chromosomes. And that should make sense to you because when we put them both together here, we get a fertilized egg that will grow and grow and grow to make you. Years. Time. Okay. And you are now trillions of cells. So this is this process of doing mitosis, actually. And the cells are going bloop, 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 as you are readily familiar with. So meiosis is actually going to be a process that we get these eggs and sperm, and there are actually 2 rounds of division. And you'll see what I mean in a second, but meiosis is 2 rounds of division to create these eggs and sperm. So we're going to start here and move this up a little bit. And what we're going to start with, we're going to have a cell, and this cell is going to have just 1 pair of chromosomes. Now, in our cells, remember that we have 23 pairs of chromosomes for a total of 46, but in this one, we are going to just start with 1 pair to simplify this. And let's say this is, there's 2 of them in a pair, right? And so 1 came from mom, 1 came from dad, okay? So I'm going to write the number of chromosomes underneath it, and as we go along, it'll change. And then underneath that, I'm going to actually write the number of chromosomes that this number represents in an actual human cell. Remember, we're just using this number to simplify, but an actual cell has 46 chromosomes, okay? So before meiosis can actually happen, what this has to do is go through replication. Replicates its DNA. So now, instead of 46 chromosomes, it's going to have 92, or 2 goes to 4. And if you'll remember from mitosis, what they're going to look like is this one, this dark one, is going to turn into this kind of weird-looking X structure, which we'll color in. And so this is actually 2 chromosomes now, and they're identical. Here's 1, and here's 1. And then this one over here is going to look like that. And so we have 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I drew them touching on purpose right here because after they replicate, they actually come together and they form something that's called a tetrad. We're not going to do all of the steps of meiosis, but I'm just going to show you kind of the overview of what's going on, okay? So we went from 2 chromosomes to 4, okay? And in a real human cell, that would be 92, okay? Now, here we go with the actual process of meiosis. So we have 2 divisions, right? So this is division 1, division round 1, okay? And so after this, what happens, I drew that tetrad like that so that we could separate it in the first division. So these 2 are going to go apart like this, okay? If we were doing this with finger chromosomes, we had these 2, then they did this, boop, and then they came together. And in the first division, they're going to separate like this. So that looks like this. Color that one in. There we go. So that's division 1. Now, the next thing, so we are here at this point. This one is this cell, this one is this cell. They are going to separate like that. And if you'll remember, these are called sister chromatids. These are sister chromatids. They are identical, okay? Actually, that's not entirely true for reasons that we did not go over, but that's okay for now. So these two are going to separate. And these two are going to separate. So when these two separate, this gets pulled that way, this gets pulled that way. So now we got, pew, and another one. And then these two are these. So, ooh, I forgot to do this. So after this first separation, we are back to 2 chromosomes. This is 2, and this is 2. And 2 represents 46 in an actual human cell. Same thing over here. And then now, okay, this is where we go to get the actual gametes. They separate again, and so this is going to have 1, which is represented in a real cell by 23. 1, 23. 1, oops, 23. 1, 23. Okay, so this was division 2. And now all of these are gametes. These could be either eggs or sperm, and they are haploid cells, which means that they have half of the DNA of the original. So we look at the original, it was this cell right here. And so after 2 divisions, we have 1 and 1. And 1 and 1, right? So now we have cells not with 2, but with 1.